YouTube, Steamblade Games here, back again with another Nerf video. Today I wanted to show you guys all the paint jobs I've done previously and my techniques for it. And actually one of my paint jobs is missing. It's all the way in my room over there. I'll go grab it in a minute, but let's start off with the paint jobs I've done. You can skip ahead if you don't want to see these. So, first of all, the first paint job I ever did is this Nerf Maverick. I named it Kurohi, which I believe means black fire in Japanese. There's my signature right there. And, yeah, I thought I did a fairly good job with that. Then on to a slightly more messy, but cooler looking paint job, Guroden Kasai, which means golden fire in Japanese. I named it that because I had found some awesome gold spray paint, which works super well, looks just like real gold actually. And then next up, Mjolnir. Now I actually did a paint job in between Guroden Kasai and Mjolnir here, and it was the predecessor for my next paint job, but it was so hideous that I just shredded it off and painted over it. So Mjolnir, it's got the 6-shot hammer shot kit in it from Orange Mod Works. Actually, all of these here have been modded with Orange Mod Works kits, which I thought was pretty cool. So then next up, Sabaku no Hanta, sorry. I keep misreading that. And so that means desert hunter in Japanese, if Google Translate got it right. I was going for kind of a tactical theme with this, and this was my first Nerf gun with the silver enamel paint. So you can see how that turned out on the handle there, and up there. And that's going to be a major part of what I'm going to show you later. And now let me show you my most recent paint job, which is, as I said, all the way over here in my room. Now you guys actually saw this earlier in my easy fix for the scout not shooting video, but it was taken completely apart then. This is my scout. And I don't really have any fancy name for it. I just call it the Scrapyard Scout, because it was in really bad shape when I took it apart and painted it and did all that stuff to it. The return spring for the slide was completely ruined, so that has no return spring in it. And so yeah, those are all of my paint jobs up till now. Now I'm going to show you guys the techniques that I used to do this with my Fury Fire. I believe that's what this is called. So I'll just cut to that, if I can stop the video. Hey, I'm back, and I took out all the screws in the main body of this. Haven't taken them out of there yet. And I started work on sanding here. So you can see that just comes right off. Now it's probably better to take a flathead screwdriver and just gently pry the top off of the bottom. But it's so easy to take off with this that I didn't even bother. Now this piece normally goes right in here, but that just pulls right out. And this piece here with its little spring normally is right in there. but that tends to fly out in all blasters, so I took it out and set it aside. Now here's my materials. You can see I was experimenting a bit with some orange paint there. So I've got this gloss enamel paint, along with just some plain Crayola orange, didn't have much else. Mixing the gold gloss enamel and the orange made this pretty cool color here. Then I've got just this random brush that I had sitting around that I got at the hardware store. Then I've got my spray paints. They're all Rust-Oleum. Here's the gold paint I was talking about earlier that looks just like real gold. Then I just had that there just because. And then here are the two paints that I'm actually going to use here. Now this is Rust-Oleum Paint Plus Primer, black. It's what I put down for the base coat on all of those paint jobs. Like literally every paint job I've ever done. And then the Rust-Oleum Crystal Clear Enamel, which gives a fantastic finish. That's what I put on the handle here of Mjolnir. And that just gave a beautiful, smooth finish. So I'm going to finish sanding this down, but before I do that, let me explain the mods I did and the mods I'm going to do. Now, I swapped out the spring for this ridiculously powerful one. I believe it gives like 8 kilograms or 9 kilograms of force when it's fully compressed. Like, it is a strong spring. Then I believe I improved the seal on the plunger tube. Yeah, I improved the seal on the plunger tube by taping under the O-ring, and that gave like a flawless seal. And I also added a bit of silicone grease to that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this barrel out and remove all the air restrictors. You can see those in there. So I'll come back when I've done that and finished sanding. See you in a moment. Hello! I am back and I'm ready to spray paint here, as you can see. Now, first of all, you need to get like a nice chalky finish on your Nerf gun. And then once you've got that from sanding, and remember, use a low grit sandpaper than a high grit sandpaper. So once you've done that, you're ready to spray paint. And you'll want to go over it in light coats. And make sure not to breathe any of this stuff in. Now you'll want to get it from a bunch of other directions too, because as you can see there's still plenty of green left here. And yeah, I'll be right back. And by the way, you should probably use a mask for this. I just cover my mouth with a t-shirt. But yeah, be right back. Alrighty, I am back. And as you can see, I've given everything a fairly good coat of just plain black. Looks like I missed a spot there. I'll get that in a second. But you want to go over it in light, quick coats, and you'll probably want to set it out to dry in the sun. I'm in Texas in the middle of summer, so it doesn't really matter here. It's like 100 degrees outside. But if you're anywhere colder, you'll probably want to set it out in the sun. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that anyways. after I get that little spot there. And then once I've got everything fully painted and dried, I'll come back. Okay, I am back here. The paint has dried pretty quickly too because it's so hot out here. And I've put up this painter's tape to keep me from getting paint where I don't want it. So I'm gonna paint some orange here, 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 and here. And we'll see how that turns out. And then after that, I'll come back and show you my dry brushing technique and the paint I use to do so in more detail. Hello, I am back, and as you can see, I put some orange paint on there and it turned out absolutely awesome. Like, there's the paint I used. It was a mix of this really cheap Crayola orange acrylic paint and this absolutely awesome gold metallic gloss enamel paint. And I'm using the same brand of gloss enamel paint for the silver dry brushing. And I suppose I gotta show everybody what dry brushing is. So, here, this is gonna be kinda hard to pull off with one hand. Ugh, what the heck? Okay, I'll ignore that. Probably need to wash off the tip of that. But you literally just take some enamel silver paint. That's what I use for it anyways. You can really probably use any kind of silver paint. And you wipe a little bit of it off on a bit of paper and then just paint like the edges of stuff. And it gives this awesome, awesome look. As though it's been like really scratched up. And if you just like line the edges of everything with it, it looks pretty cool. But if you like go over everything really lightly, it looks just awesome. Just amazingly awesome. So I'm going to try not to go over the orange paint too much with this. So that's turning out pretty well. You can see just a tiny bit of paint goes a long ways with this enamel paint. Like a long, long ways. So you can see sort of what I've done there. There's after dry brushing and before dry brushing. And all cut to the end. Now, when this is all completely done, and I've put a few coats of this on, use the same technique as with the other spray paint. And thank you guys for watching. Be right back. Okay, so before I leave, a huge special shout out to Lionheart Games, my cousin. I wouldn't even have this Nerf blaster to paint if it weren't for him. So thank you so much, Lionheart Games. And thank you for viewing, and goodbye.